the rich people, do they want to live in an expensive high-rise building in downtown Bangkok?
They live in the office, but they want to go to rural places like villages in Russia, Rublyovka, like the France mountain villages. People go there.
If you look around this neighborhood, we have some of the richest houses in Thailand. You said the Prime Minister lives here.
Yeah, but these houses, it's like one, two-floor houses with like a rotting wooden roof. They're very simple and very...
Yes, they're very rustic and simple. So the very rich and powerful, they like something rustic and simple. I always used to give the example of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette. They were rich, they had the Palace of Versailles. But Marie Antoinette, with all her riches and power and jewels, what she really loved was to play in a little village that they constructed behind Versailles, where she played as if she were a milkmaid. Well, this is very similar to the pastimes of Krishna. So God, as power, owns everything, controls everything. He can throw thunderbolts down and make it rain. He can shake the earth with an earthquake. He can smite the earth with a curse. But in the higher world, what does God really want to do? Well, of course, you have Vaikuntha, right? Which is the four-armed Vishnu. It's an amazing, terrible, incredible God. But even above that, there's Dwarka, where Krishna has marble palaces and 16,108 wives. But even superior to Mathura is Vrindavan. And why Vrindavan? Because it's simple, it's sweet, it's rural. There's flowers, it's quiet. In Vrindavan, we used to visit this place called Raman Reti, which means pleasing sands. And they have peacocks. It's all very picturesque. So you might think, well, why would God, if he has everything, why would he want something simple and beautiful? But if you need an example, look no farther than this garden here.
And the white shot of this
the
garden.
The rich and powerful people here, they don't want to live in marble palaces. They like something quiet and peaceful with a rustic roof and a beautiful garden. So somewhere in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a famous quote by a learned scholar. I think his name is Raghupati Upadhyay. He was a great follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he expressed this in a very simple quote. I forget the Sanskrit.
Shrutim apare smritim itare.
Say again?
Shrutim apare smritim itare.
That's right. He says, getting back to the Shruti and the Smriti, he says ordinary people, they're interested in the Shruti and the Smriti, which means the rules and regulations of the Vedic culture. Varnashram Dharma, being a Brahmin, a Kshatriya, Shudra, Vaishya, or Ashram Dharma, being a good sannyasi or being a good grihasta, following the regulations. What does he say?
He say, Aham iha nandam vande.
So they're afraid of death, and they're thinking, I need to follow the rules and regulations of the Vedic scripture, the Varnashram Dharma. Because if I do this, then I can go to heaven, or I'll be free from karma. And then you have the Brahmavadis who want to go to unlimited peace and quiet and the Brahmajyoti, the eternal effulgence of the Lord. But Raghupati Upadhyay, he says, leave that aside. I'm not interested in eternal life. I'm not interested in heaven. That's not enough for me. He says, I want to know about Nanda Maharaj, because Nanda Maharaj is the father of Krishna. So what kind of piety does he have? How is it possible? How is it possible that the supreme absolute truth is crawling around in the backyard of Nanda Maharaj?